Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you out there, wherever you are in your different time zones around the world. Here we are, another Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning, finally, 1 a.m. in London, Friday morning at 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. Hi, everybody. My name is Frank Allan, and here we are once again meeting together for another edition of Talk Back Live. This is a show where we get everybody involved, and we like you to get involved too. We're going to be here for the next hour, and we hope that you'll stay here with us. Now, for those of you who have been around a long time, you already know the protocol. I don't have to explain it to you, because if I do, shame, 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 shame. But for the people who are here for the very first time, here's how it goes. We come along on the air every week at this particular time, depending on what your time zone is. We're here Eastern. We're coming to you live from New York City because that's where we originate. So since we're Eastern, you may be someplace else. Look at your clock, wherever it is. That's the time we come on each week at this particular time every Thursday. And depending, maybe Friday where you are. But anyway, we're here, and as host of the show, I get to start the show by throwing out conversation, get the show rolling, and in between all of that, you can join in the conversation anytime you like, even right now if you want. All you have to do is use your keyboard on your computer, on your iPhone or your smartphone, or even your iPad. You have an iPad? Or do they have iPads anymore? Anyway. Any one of those devices you can use where we're broadcasting on, you can use them. All you have to do is use your keyboard, and I will see you. I will see you right there on the big screen. I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas, and you want to just join in on the conversation. And maybe there's something in particular you want to talk about in conversation. We'll be glad to do that for you. We'll be glad to talk about whatever you want to talk about, because after all, it's free exchange of ideas and opinions around here, and everyone gets a shot. And so with that in mind, we want to let everybody know that we're in 3 different places as well. We're all over the world. No matter where you go, you can find us. We're live on Facebook right now. We're on YouTube, and we're live on Instagram too. And we invite all of you to tell your friends about us, get them involved. As a matter of fact, those of you who are watching us on Facebook right now, take the time to tag the show directly to them. You could do that. You can tag them all. You don't even have to blink an eye. You won't miss a thing. Just tag it. You know how to use the tag, right? Tag your friends. You may have abundance of friends, or maybe selective friends you want to join in, because the more the merrier. So when they join in, all you have to do is, when you tag them, they'll see that information. If they're online, they'll see that notification. All they have to do is press on that notification, and it brings them right here to us. They'll see you, they'll see me, and everybody involved here. And those of you who are watching us on YouTube, we always encourage you to get involved with us by subscribing to my YouTube channel. It's right there. All you have to do is just take your mouse and click on where it says subscribe, and you're right there. Now, just before you ask the question, is there any charge? No charge whatsoever. No union card, no letter from your principal or anything like that. Nothing like that. If you're an adult over 18 years old, you're in. All you have to do is subscribe, because when you subscribe, that will give you the opportunity to know whenever we come on live, or if we so much as post a video or a photo, you'll get notification. Providing you're online, you'll see that, and all you have to do is just click on. Now, a lot of people, they don't remember all the time when the show comes on. So if you happen to be online when the show comes on and you're doing something else, and all of a sudden you see that notification, you say, he's on the air. Let me go over there. That's all it takes. And that's the benefit of clicking on to our YouTube channel and subscribing to us. And those of you who are watching us on Instagram, all you have to do is just be cool. All you have to do is just tell your friends about us. Keep following us. And of course, we would love to have each and every one of you aboard. Tell your family and friends about it, and make them part of the action as well. Now, in conjunction with all of us getting together, and as I entertain you and we entertain each other, we always interact with you in conjunction with interacting with you. We have our norms here. on the Talk Back Live show. We have our norms here. And one of the norms is sports. Now, in just a few minutes from now, Brian Kemp will link up with us. He'll be linking up with us directly from Charlotte, North Carolina. We can do that. Technology is great to us. So he'll get a chance to see you. We'll see him. And he's going to give us the latest developments in today's world of sports. So you'll get a chance to meet and greet him. And if you're watching us on Instagram, unfortunately, you won't be able to see him, but you'll be able to hear him. And if you have any questions in sports while he's here delivering the sports news, type it in and we'll make sure he'll get that information and he'll answer any questions that you may have about sports. And he has all the answers. That's why he's here. So we have that. Also, later on in the program, we have what we call this thing called This Day in History. This Day in History, all the events, maybe not all, but most of the great events that you may remember, we're going to repeat those events that happened on this particular day in history. It's all coming up. And of course, later on in the program as well, we are going to have those movies that you love so much. Now, I have a pick of movies each week. My pick of the week for your weekend. Now, just in case you want to involve yourself other than doing what you normally do on the weekend, maybe want to catch up on some movies for some reason. And if you think it's a good time to do it, well, I just want to add some movies to your bucket list of movies to watch. All of that's coming up, and we hope that you're with us. Remember that everything that we talk about here, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talk Back Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinion of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the show rolling and let's get started. It's been a 1 week. You know something? Summer, it's almost here. We're officially into spring, but we had some great weather today. I can't speak for your weather because I'm talking about here in New York. We had some great weather. We went up to 90 today. And just yesterday, we were expecting to go no higher than 80, but we reached the 90-degree mark today. It was beautiful out there. People were out there in the sunshine, just grabbing that vitamin and just relaxing and sipping their coffee, their tea, or their soft drinks, or whatever they were doing, and just having a good time. And I can imagine people who were taking their lunch breaks today went out and probably brown bagged it. A lot of people do that. You know, weather like this, it was beautiful. And we're looking forward to more weather like that. And I could safely say we're kind of finished with the cold weather. I can safely say that. I look down the line in the weather forecast and I see, you know, we've got more 80-degree temperatures coming along. And then it'll drop a little to the mid 60s, which is still warm, you know, but people out there having fun today, enjoying that sun. It was great. And I hope it's the same thing where you are. I hope everything is fine where you are and your weather is just as good. We'll tell you more about that later. We're going to find out what happened in Charlotte, North Carolina with the weather. I know if I had great temperatures here in New York, I'm pretty sure Charlotte, North Carolina has it. And I'm pretty sure if they had it, or if they're having it now, they probably send some of it to us. You know, that great 90-degree weather sends something to us. Now, a lot of people I know, they don't particularly like this kind of weather. They rather have the winter weather, and that's okay too. But, you know, you have to take the bitter with the sweet. So, I mean, I'm a summertime guy, although I was born in the fall months, but I'm a summertime kind of a guy. I love this warm weather. And so if I have to indulge in your cold weather, and by the way, in New York, it's the 4 seasons. We're living in the 4 seasons. So if I have to indulge in that, I mean, the least you can do is indulge in my weather. Unless, of course, you want to take a trip to the Antarctic or something like that, where the weather is chilly. A lot of people have a way of dealing with the weather. And the good thing about us New Yorkers, no matter what your choice of weather is, if it's always the opposite of what you like, you still know how to deal with it. Everyone knows how to deal with it. And come this summer, the weather's going to be warm and we're going to look forward to those lazy, hazy, crazy days of summer, as Nat King Cole would say. And we're looking for outdoor activities, barbecues, picnics, and all kinds of stuff. Can't wait. And this is just the beginning. Well, here we are once again on this Thursday. And as I said, Brian will be here in just a few minutes from now for sports. As a matter of fact, a little over 5 minutes he will be here, and we'll be looking forward to hearing what he has to say about sports. A lot of, especially baseball. Now, baseball is back in season. We'll talk more about that too. When is it ever going to end, folks? When is it going to ever end? I'm talking about mass shootings. You heard this week, we had another mass shooting. This time, this one was in Louisville, Kentucky. And they when you mention mass shootings, the first thing, what do you think of? You think of the AR-15. That's what you think of. It's terrible because that's what they were using. It's one of those military guns. Of course, I don't know why a civilian would even need a gun like that. That's something that's military style. But nevertheless, it was a story about a guy, I would think that he had once worked at that bank, but he went in there, it was like 8:30 in the morning. And the thank God for people who normally bank at the hour. The bank didn't open yet. It didn't open yet. So no other bankers got hurt, but people who were in the bank at the particular time, it was shot at. And they were just, and you always wonder, what's the reason? I mean, could this guy have worked there or got fired or something and kind of sought revenge on the person that fired him or other people that had nothing to do with it? Well, the problem is that we're still waiting for people to come together and say, hey, no more, that's it. And, a lot of people are beholding to the NRA, thinking that they're going to lose their guns. It's not about losing your guns, your weapons, because it's part of the Second Amendment. Everybody has a right to bear arms, and no one's going to take that away from you. It's just that all we're looking for is a little control. In Louisville, Kentucky, boy, it was great. It's just like that shooting, remember, in Memphis, Tennessee, when those babies, those 9-year-old kids got killed, and 3 adults too, which brings me to another subject, which I'm happy to say that Justin Jones and Justin P. Pearson are back, and they are reinstated. I give them applause. I salute them. They didn't give up the fight, and they're back together. And you wonder now, how does that make these people look who gave them a hard time? I don't even know why they were eliminated in the first place, or expelled, as you will, in the first place. There were 3 of them, and just one wasn't expelled, which was the white lady, Gloria Johnson. She wasn't expelled. And maybe because of the fact she didn't speak on the megaphone and the 2 Justins did. Maybe you think that was it? Could that be it? Or no one is that much of a bonehead, right? Can't be. Nevertheless, they're back. They fought the fight, and it's good. And I'm happy for the young people in Tennessee. They witnessed all of this. These guys were sworn back into office. And now the fight continues. And now it's the 3 amigos together once again. They're going to be fighting this fight and try to do their very best to get a little law and order as far as these guns are concerned, and stop this mass shooting and put it aside. And I believe eventually people will come to their senses. People will come to their senses. And I'm not talking about the hopeless people, because there's some people, there's just no hope for. Although people say there's hope for everyone, there's hope for everyone. You'll have to see about that. Anyway, I am glad they're back. The 2 Justins, Justin Jones and Justin J. Pearson. They're all together, and I am happy. Now that leads me to another story. What is this? Maybe it's because people are outspoken. When people are outspoken, they don't like you when you're outspoken. Here's another little item. ABC declines, and this is what I heard. I haven't heard any more about it yet, but this is the word I got earlier this week. ABC declines to renew Whoopi Goldberg's contract. Now, this is what the program director, Joe Barron, says it's time to move on. She had a good run, but now she's just angry all the time. Barron said the network is constantly inundated with complaints from the people, and I'm assuming the public, people who find her hateful, divisive, and un-American. Why is she un-American? Because she speaks her mind? That can't be it. Can't be that much of a bullhead. Anyway, most of them, they can't explain why, but that's their right not to heed command. All right, so that's the story I got. I haven't heard any more about it. As a matter of fact, you know something, I don't get a chance to watch Whoopi Goldberg, and they're talking about relieving her from The View. All right, but he goes on to say, here's the thing. Goldberg's manager, Art Tublins, says that the negotiation is far from over and that he expects ABC to offer his client a new contract through 2029 because she is the show. Keep my fingers crossed. A lot of people don't like Whoopi Goldberg because she's outspoken, but it can't be the fact that she's divisive and un-American because she's outspoken. It can't be that. You know, that's not the way it goes. So I'm going to keep my fingers for Whoopi Goldberg, and all of you keep your fingers crossed for her too. Those of you who don't like her, you know, wish her well anyway. All right, be big, be big. Please do that. Okay. Okay, here we are. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. It's now 16 minutes past the hour. And as promised, we're going to link up right now with Brian Camp. He's coming out of Charlotte, North Carolina with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Brian, we had 90-degree weather here in New York City. 90 degrees. How about that? And Brian is giving the hand clap of the news I just reported. So
record temperature, 1977, it broke the record of, I believe it was 88 degrees, and various parts of the city of New York. I still watch New York news and broadcasts, and yes, they broke the record. It was, I could imagine it was a scorcher. It was probably humid too, probably, because, you know, New York weather's always humid as well.
Because we're near the water. We got a lot of surrounded by water.
Exactly. So yes,
in the middle of the oceans.
Right. Well, between the East River and the West Side Highway, you know, you're sandwiched between those two rivers and everything. Yeah, so you're going to get a lot of humidity.
And I'm just a couple of blocks. I live a couple of blocks away from the East River.
Yes, exactly. Yes, where the FDR Drive is at, and you know, basically New York City is really sits on an island, believe it or not, you know, because it's surrounded by water. So, but New York is still the greatest city in the world, and I'm privileged to be born and raised there. And you know, I come back to visit once in a while. And but congratulations, New York deserves some nice warm weather, but there's a chilly front that's coming up. I heard it. It's coming up this weekend. You know, so enjoy it while you can. The temperature here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina is right now, it's a 68 degrees. Our high today was 79. So we had some typical Charlotte, North Carolina weather. It was right now it's drizzling. So you know, it's not much of a rainfall, but it's drizzling, and it's cloudy right now going into the evening. But good evening to you and to everybody out there who's listening globally, and hope everybody's doing well. And you know, it's been, like I said, it's been a mild day, typical for us. But sports, let's get to sports. In the NBA, it's that time of the year again. As you know, the college basketball season is done and over with. We crowned men's and women's champions. Now it's for the men's now, for the professionals. That's going to start, the playoff starts exactly Saturday into Sunday. But right now there are two games that's coming on tomorrow for play-ins. The play-ins is just have the right, whoever wins tomorrow's game will have the right to play the top seed. So tomorrow you got the first game at 7:00 on TNT is the Chicago Bulls against the Miami Heat, and that game starts at 7:00. Then the second game will be on ESPN starting at 9:00. Is the Oklahoma Thunder will be playing against the Minnesota Timberwolves. So basketball, the playoff basketball is fierce, and it's going to be great. So tune in for this weekend with the start of the playoffs. A lot of great matchups. Star players are going to be playing against star players. The Lakers are in there. I know the Lakers and the Celtics, they're very popular, and they will be in action as the playoff season starts. In football, the NFL just found this out, breaking news not too long ago, maybe an hour or two ago, that Daniel Snyder, the owner of the Washington Commanders, yes, and they are no longer the Redskins, they are now the Washington Commanders. Daniel Snyder is selling his team. Him and his wife is selling the team. They're in early talks, but they are about to sell their team. I believe it's 1.6 or close to, no, excuse me, take that back. Anywhere between $5 to $9 billion. I might be wrong on that. It all depends on what kind of deal that they work out. Now, Daniel Snyder, as you know, is the owner who had problems in his own workforce with employees. Even he was accused of some things of being, how would you call it? Verbally abusive towards his employees. So he's still under investigation. Even though he's going to sell the team, he still might be investigated just to make an example out of him. So we're going to stay tuned for that in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully we get something soon, maybe within a week or so. This day in sports, April 13th, 1926, at 38, Walter Johnson pitches his 7th opening day shutout. Wow, that's amazing. 7 opening day shutout, 1926, yes. In 1946, Eddie Klepp, a white pitcher signed by defending Negro League champ Cleveland Buckeyes, is barred from the field. You know, that was before 1947, when before baseball was united, and as you know, many years it was segregated, but now we could all play together in harmony. Now, hopefully this will last for a lifetime. But yes, that's what he was known for. 1949, Basketball Association of the American Finals, the Minnesota Lakers beat the Washington Capitals. Later that year, they merged to create the NBA. Yes, the NBA started in 1950. Yeah, 1950 or 51. And let's see, 1954, the Milwaukee Braves, Hank Aaron's first game as he made his debut back in 1954 with the Milwaukee Braves. 1962, Stan the Man Musial scored his 1,869 run. That's a new National League record. 1984, Pete Rose, Charlie Hustles is his nickname, becomes the first National League player to get 4,000 hits in a career. 2004, Barry Bonds of the San Francisco Giants hits his 661st career home run, passing his godfather, the great Willie Mays, the Willie Say Hey Kid Willie Mays. You know, I saw his documentary too on Netflix. It actually came out, I don't know why it took me so long, but it came out back in October of 2022. And he was amazing. If he's not the greatest, I don't know. I know there's a lot of Babe Ruth fans out there, but Willie Mays, I didn't see Babe Ruth, okay? I didn't see Babe Ruth. And, you know, I don't want to get a little radical, but baseball did not become desegregated until after Jackie Robinson broke into the Major League. So anything before 1947 in my book doesn't count. Sorry, that's how I look at it. Don't hate me, but that's part of not only Black history, but it's part of U.S. history. So yes, let's get that clear. Greg Popovich in 2019. Greg Popovich, the San Antonio basketball coach, surpasses Lenny Wilkens, Brooklyn-born boys high school alumni, to become the all-time winningest coach in NBA history, 1,413. Yes, so congratulations to Greg Popovich. He's still coaching. I love this man because, you know, he sees no color, and he's very real in what he says. Birthdays on this date. Now you might know this gentleman here, George Washington, American boxing trainer, formerly was a member of the Mount Sinai Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York. Yes, did the research.
He's still around?
No, he's not. He's not. He's not around. He passed away. I'll come up with something to show you what year he died. Yes, George Washington. Not the first president of the United States.
Yeah, I thought about him the other day. That's funny.
Yeah, he was an usher, if you remember.
Yeah.
His name was George Washington. He was an American boxer trainer who trained Riddick Bowe and Mark Breland. Was born in Birmingham, Alabama, 1979. Byron Davis, NBA guard, born in Los Angeles, California. 1980, Quentin Richardson, NBA guard, born in Chicago, Illinois. And 1983, today, Hunter Pence, former San Francisco Giant great, was born in Fort Worth, Texas. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
Well, you know, George Washington had style, especially,
yes, he did.
Especially when he did his march. He had, he had everybody.
It's the way he turned. It's the way he turned, right?
Yeah. Everybody
loved that.
For the benefit of people who don't know what we're talking about, we attended church with George Washington. George Washington was an usher, and I would say he was like the lead usher because he was always in the front. You know, when they did the march, when they did the collection of the taking the place, getting the collection, and they come from the back of the church and they have this march. They're marching to the rhythm of the music, and when he gets to the end of the line, he'll make a cut. He'll make a turn. It's like a cut turn. They call it a cut turn.
Cut turn, yeah.
He was. I thought about him the other day. Boy.
Yeah, he used to have his. He had his own boxing training in Bedford-Stuyvesant in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know, and he trained a lot of famous boxers and everything. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know he passed away at the age of 79. I'm trying to get this here.
Wow.
Yeah, 2006. He was 79.
Wow.
Yeah.
He had style. And he knew it.
Style.
And he knew it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
The confidence that he had, he knew it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
So he according to what they're saying, he passed away in 2006 at the age of 79.
How are your San Francisco Giants doing? The Yankees, we're 8-4 right now in the year.
We're not doing too well. We played the Dodgers 3 games this week. We lost 2 out of 3, just like we lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees. Mm-hmm. So I don't expect much from them at all this year, but they're going to be a scrappy team. You know, I predict they will finish 3rd behind the Dodgers and the Padres, and then the Giants. You know, so it's gonna be a tough year for us. But I'm gonna watch them though. You know, they play the Detroit Tigers right now. The Yankees are taking a beating right now. They're losing 11-0. You know, but the season is early. So you know, the season's early.
Hey, speaking of 11-0. Speaking of 11-0, it's not 11. It's not 11 anymore. But the Tampa Bay Rays, they're undefeated, 13-0.
They won today. Yeah, they won today. Yeah, yeah. Listen. But you know, I was listening to some of the sports talk radio show, and they said, Tampa Bay, Mad Dog Russo. He said, they're not gonna. Don't believe that they're undefeated. They didn't play nobody. They're playing easy teams. Give me a break. You know, so it's still early. It's still early.
And you never know. I wish them the best, but you never know. A turnaround could happen. You know,
the Yankees are losing 11-1 right now.
Oh, okay. Well, listen. You know, they're gonna be okay. We got a new shortstop. He has to do a little more work, but he'll get there. And the Mets. Now the Mets, I think the problem with the Mets is they don't have a good offense. I think that's their problem.
Well, they lost their close the pitcher, their relief pitcher, because of the World Baseball Classic. He injured himself. Because his name slips me, but they say he's out for the year. But he said he's going to try to get back in time. You know, depending on his rehab.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we'll catch you back here tomorrow.
I'll be here tomorrow, all next week. I won't be here next week at all. Thursday and Friday, I'm going on a retreat. You know,
okay.
It's a men's retreat. So I leave on Thursday morning or Thursday noon and won't get back till Saturday.
I got to do this show all by myself, all by my.
I'll try to put something together. You know,
okay, but we'll see for 2020, right?
2020, yes.
Okay, I'll catch you then.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, Brian, that's Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports. Sports update. He always has a lot to say about sports. And as he said, he will be here tomorrow. We'll catch him tomorrow on the coffee hour. He's part of the 2020 feature. He comes on 20 after the hour, and he brings us all of the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And the second part of the 2020 features DJP. Now, he has entertainment news, and he will be reciting all of those birthdays of people who are celebrating birthdays this week, people of notoriety. And so we look forward to seeing all of that. And if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. We're talking back live, and we're hoping that you're with us and you're here for the duration of the show. We're going to be here until the top of the hour. And we're here every Thursday. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, we're here every Thursday. And you can be part of this action. All you have to do is just let your fingers do the walking. Use your keyboard on your computer or your cell phone or your smartphone or your tablet. You know, do all of that. We're live, and we're all over the place, everywhere in the world. I don't care where you go around the world, we're there, right there, global. We're global. And even though we come live from New York City, but we come all over the world. So just keep the word percolating and let everybody know about us. Okay. And as I said, later on in the program, not too far away, we are going to give you the news on those classic movies, Turner Classic Movies. Oh yeah, you know about Turner Classic Movies. You like those classic movies? Well, I have my picks. Each week, I have my picks of the week that I relay to you to add to your bucket list of movies that you may want to watch or catch up on this weekend. I want to help you out with that. So all of that is coming up pretty soon. And it's you and me, all of us together, right here on Talk Back Live. Okay, here we are. It's that time. So let's get started right away. And let's see. On this day in history, back to 1944, New Zealand and the Soviet Union established diplomatic relations. On this day in history, again in 1944, South Carolina rejects Blacks' suffrage. On this day in history, 1956, KETA TV, Channel 13 in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. It's a PBS station that began broadcasting. That was back in 1956. In 1957, Saturday postal delivery in the United States temporarily halted due to lack of funds. On this day in history, 1961, UN General Assembly condemns South Africa's apartheid. And back in 1964, the 36th Academy Awards, Tom Jones for Best Film, Patricia Neal for HUD, Sidney Poitier for Lily of the Fields, and they all win the Academy Award for that. And Sidney Poitier was the first Black actor in a leading role to win a comprehensive Oscar. And back in 1965, the 7th Grammy Awards, The Girl from Ipanema goes to the Beatles. The same year, they recorded their hit song single, Help. Back in 1966, Pan Am places a $525 million order for 25 Boeing 747s. On this day in history, 1970, the 5th Academy of Country Music Awards go to Merle Haggard and Tammy Wynette. Back in 1980, Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey's, their musical Grease closes at the Majestic Theater in New York City after 3,388 performances. Back in 1980, the musical Reggae, starring Philip Michael Thomas, closes at the Biltmore Theater in New York City after 21 performances. And back in 1945, actor Tony Dow, who played Wally Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver, was born on this day in Hollywood, California. He passed away 2022. And on this day in 1946, soul singer Al Green, who made the big hit Let's Stay Together and Love and Happiness, well, he was born on this day in Forest City, Arkansas, and he's 77 years old today. Happy birthday, Al. 1951, R&B singer Peabo Bryson with his big hit Show and Tell, Tonight I Celebrate My Love, and A Whole New World. He was born on this day in 1951 in Greensville, South Carolina. He's 72 years old today. And also in 1970, actor Rick Schroeder. He was known as Ricky Schroeder as well. He was born on this day in Staten Island, New York. He's 53 years old today. And 2002, Law and Order actor Benjamin Bratt weds actress model Elisa Soto in San Francisco, California. In 2009, actor Michael Biehn, he weds actress Jennifer Blanc. And in 1992, Nelson Mandela announces he is seeking a divorce from his wife, Winnie. And finally, in 1975, actor Larry Parks, who played Al Jolson in the Jolson story, he died of a heart attack at the age of 60 years old. And that's this day in history. And those of you who may know anything about what's happening in this day in history that I mentioned that you happen to know about, I would love to hear from you. Let us know right now. You can do it live right now. I'll see it and I'll read it off, convey it to everyone who is watching. Now, I often say to people, and I love to do this, I love acknowledging all of you guys live. I would love to greet you personally. But a lot of people rather stay in the back and just watch the show. And that's okay too. But I still like to hear from you anyway. But if you rather sit back and relax, but as long as you're there, that's the most important thing. And a lot of people are shy about it, but that's okay. It's okay. But I tell you what, if you like to get in touch with me or relay something to me without the whole wide world knowing about it, you can do that. You can contact me. I have two ways of contacting me. I have my email address and my telephone number, and I'm going to convey that to you right now. I'll give you the email address first. The email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N, please. That's very important detail. A-L-L-A-N, prod is P-R-O-D, that stands for production, that's short for productions. frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Or if you desire, you could call, and you can do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. You can get in touch with me, and maybe you want to critique the show, or maybe you have any suggestions or ideas about the show you would like to convey to us, or maybe there's a suggestion of a guest you'd like to hear, or whatever you like to hear, or how we can better the show, or just anything. Or even if you just want to say hi, that's okay too. I don't care. You can get in touch with me by the email and telephone. So again, let me give you that email address once again. Email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Again, the telephone number, 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Again, that's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. And if you're just watching us, you're just tuning in, of course, it's Talkback Live. And I just want to say hello to a lot of people. A lot of people are sitting idle. So I don't want to leave the show without at least acknowledging you that way. I just want to say hi to all of you guys who are watching us right now. and watching us idly, and that's okay too. But I just want to say howdy to each and every one of you guys on Facebook, you guys on YouTube, and of course, all of you guys who are watching us on Instagram. Now, I said it at the top of the show, and I'll say it again. Since we're all over the world, we're live on some of these places that I told you about. We're live on Facebook, we're on YouTube and Instagram as well. What we want you to do is that while we have the little time that's allotted to us, all of you who are watching us on Facebook, tag your friends right now and get them in on the action for the little bit of time that we have. And they may like what they hear, they may like what they see, and they may want to join us each week. Let's tag them right now. And we really appreciate that. Now, for those of you who are watching us again on YouTube, we always encourage you, as usual, to make sure that you go to my YouTube page or channel, as it were. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to us. It's free of charge. It's nothing involved, no money involved. It's free of charge. And just keep in mind that once you subscribe to us, that will give you a chance and an opportunity to know that we're on the air live. It will pop up while you're on the internet doing whatever you want to do. It gives you that information, what they call a notification. And the notification will pop up. Just click onto the notification and it brings you right to the channel. And for those of you, again, who are watching us on Instagram, fine, but make sure that you keep following us. And again, pass the word to your family and friends. Again, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live, and we have a few minutes in the show to go. So many things happen, and just not too far away, I'm going to give you those movies I was telling you about. You already know that 345/666 Beast Incarnate made it to New York once again. As a matter of fact, he came in last night. He stayed at his Trump Towers. You know, he came in last night. Now he's here. You probably heard the story, and they didn't make a big thing out of it as they did 10 days ago or 11 days ago with him coming to New York and he being indicted. They just brought him back, and they brought him back. Why? They brought him back for the second deposition of his financials, fraud financials. And what I understand is that this time he's meeting with Letitia James. And, you know, he met with Letitia James once before. And of course, at that particular time, he pleaded the fifth. He took the fifth. He pleaded the fifth about over 400 times. You know, that's got to be crazy. You know, if you plead the fifth that much, that often, 400 times, there's something wrong. All right. But anyway, the last time he was here, he pleaded the fifth when he was asked a lot of questions. This time coming around, I understand that he's going to go through it and he's going to answer all the questions. Now, he was here early. He arrived early, around 10 a.m. Still at this particular time, maybe after I get off the air, I'll know more, but at this particular time, still have no idea on what was going on, what he was saying, what he was asked, or what's going to happen at this particular time. And it would be interesting to know, and I'm pretty sure it'll happen, but they're just not releasing anything just yet. I'm pretty sure before the night is over. And those of you who are at a earlier time zone, you're in the morning hours, before your morning is over, maybe we'll get more information on what's happening with that. But yeah, he's back in New York. How long he's going to be here, I don't know. I don't know if he's still here or if he's still, I don't know where he is right now. All I know is that he arrived at 10 o'clock this morning, Eastern time in New York City. And so we'll have to see about that. But he is, of course, making history. And I wouldn't want to make history the way he's making history. Of course, he's making history by being the first president to be indicted, criminally indicted. And this is not the last of everything. I mean, we've got this going here in New York, and then he's got the other things going on in Georgia and all of these other places. He's got a lot on his plate. I think he's going to be doing more traveling to courts than he is going out on the campaign trail. But I have yet to hear him do anything on the campaign trail as of yet. And of course, you've heard the other news that Tim Scott, he's possibly going to throw his hat in the ring, running for president of the United States. So you got a lot of people going along, doing things. And DeSantis, he's still in Florida doing his thing. I don't think he's ever going to become president. I'm sorry to say, neither him or 345/66 Beast Incarnate. I would say this though, folks, and I would say it honestly, not maliciously, but I don't see any Republican getting into the presidency at this particular time. Ask me why. I'm glad you asked that question. Because right now, these guys, they're all separated, they're divided. You got the MAGA Republicans here, and you got the mainstream Republicans there, and they're fighting each other and they're calling each other names. See, the way I look at it, if it's like being on a ball team, whether it's a baseball team or a basketball team or a football team, you cannot win any games unless you work as a team. There's no I, there's all of us, there's us. In order for us to win, we have to be together as one. And the Republican Party at this particular time is not doing that. Even Kevin McCarthy, he's kind of on the losing streak on his side. Now he's got a little more over a year. He's got over a year before, who knows, maybe before the Democrats take back the House, maybe, I don't know. We have to see what's happening. Right now, he doesn't look good. The whole damn party doesn't look good, but they brought it on themselves. And you got people who are making the party worse than what it is now. And one of the names come to mind, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, it is a piece of work right there. Total piece of work. Did you see her? She was on Tucker Carlson's show. Of course. Where else? Where else is she going to go to let out her airs, right? She was on the Tucker Carlson show, telling Tucker Carlson that she was in New York and she thought New York was the filthiest, the dirtiest, and it smelled bad, and people were overdosing in the streets, and this and that and the other. And the reason why she said that, when she came here I think it was last week when Trump was indicted, she came here and she was booed. She came in the crowd and she wanted to make a speech. She thought she was going to be here, thought something was going to go on, and she got booed. And I think that's what it was. But she badmouthed New York, and I would say to her, Marjorie Taylor Greene, don't come back here again. And the reason why, she said that the city, it smelled bad. Well, of course it smelled bad, only for that moment that you were here. Of course it smelled bad. But I think we got over it a little bit now. Don't come back here anymore, Marjorie Taylor Greene. You weren't wanted at that day that you thought it was going to be some violence, which of course you love. You strive off of that. You love that, but we don't tolerate that here in New York City. This is not Washington, D.C. You're not going to break into any courtrooms, and you're not going to defecate on people's desks, and you're not going to break windows. It's not going to happen here. She was looking forward to that. She says she was here. She wasn't here for that purpose, but that's what she was here for. She was looking for a problem. And then she goes and she badmouths the city, only because of the fact that they booed her out of here. They booed her out. They didn't want to have anything to do with her. And we still don't want anything to do with you. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, don't come back here. And by the way, Tucker Carlson's show comes out of New York City. All right. Now I thought to myself, well, how come when she was bad-mouthing New York City, how come he didn't intervene? Oh, it just occurred to me, he doesn't live in New York City either. I think he lives someplace in Connecticut. So that's not New York. He just works here, and And how long he will be working here, we don't know, because we already know now that Fox News is under fire. They're going to, I think it's Monday of next week. They're going to trial, and Rupert Murdoch is going to take the stand, and a whole lot of things are going to be happening. Now, Fox News, I'm not sure what the fate is going to be. If they keep doing what they're doing, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But they're up for a $1.6 billion lawsuit. You know that, right? That's a lot of money. And they're up for that. What's gonna happen down the line? I don't want to predict what's going to happen down the line, but I will say this, something. It's like news is supposed to be a public trust. And that's me coming up in this industry, right? It was always the motto that radio and TV was a public trust. When you watch the news, when Walter Cronkite was broadcasting and Robert Trout, you guys don't remember. Some of you guys don't remember these guys. And some of the old, and I'm not talking about the anchors of today. Some of them are good. Some of these anchors today are very good at what they do, but I'm talking about the old school anchors who are no longer with us, who you trusted because they said, whatever they said, you trusted and you went along with it. And if they made a mistake, they came back on the air and apologized. We take that back, we retract that. We got bad news on that. And we just want to express our apologies to all of you who are watching. That wasn't the case that we initially conveyed to you. They did it that way. And some anchors today still do that. They still do that. But it's one of those things where I don't want to predict, but I got in the back of my mind that Fox News, there's going to be some kind of change, because what happens when they decide, well, we're not going to do this, we're going to take this avenue anymore, and what we're going to do is we're going to fire all of you. So Tucker Carlson, and by the way, these guys are not even journalists, so they I guess you could call them talk show hosts, right? So you got guys like Tucker Carlson, you got who else? You got Laura Ingraham, Janine Perillo, all of these. Did I pronounce the name right? Perillo? I don't care. Anyway, you get the idea, all right? And what happens when there is no more Fox News? What's going to happen then? Now they're going to have to go someplace else or do someplace else. But in New York, they're not going to find that kind of TV here in New York anymore if that ever happens. So either they're going to have to go to another part of town, someplace where people like them, or maybe where they have TV that spews that kind of information that they spew each night on the air, or they're going to have to be reduced to a podcast. All right, just like Bill O'Reilly, he's not on TV anymore. He's reduced to a podcast. Right. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but TV, when you drop from TV and you have to go to get a podcast, and they will have you anyplace else. They won't have you anyplace else. And then you either do that or you do nothing. And a lot of people, they go to the podcast because they want to stay relevant, right? Laura Ingraham, she that may happen to her too. You never know. Megyn Kelly was reduced to a podcast, right? But see, on her podcast, she doesn't say anything. The only thing that she does on her podcast is bash people, and she has a foul mouth, and her foul mouth. That's all she's all about. So that's what she is. But then I guess in a podcast, I guess you could basically say anything you want to say because you're not beholden to the FCC rules and regulations. So people, they curse and do things like that. But yeah, she was reduced. And that's as far as she goes. You ever notice that a lot of the people who used to work at Fox News, either they quit and did something else, or they were fired, or they didn't have their contracts renewed, and no one else would hire them. Now, Megyn Kelly was hired at NBC for about 15 minutes. The show was a disaster. It was down in the dumps. So they had to let her go for that because of the ratings. The ratings were so low that they had to get rid of her. And now she's not on TV anymore. She's reduced. And this is her life right now. I'm not saying that she won't come back, but right now you got to figure where will she go? You know, CNN is not going to have her. You know, News Nation is not going to have her. You know, MSNBC is not going to have her. Good luck. Good luck. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we maybe talk about other things like that tomorrow on the coffee hour. We'll do things like that. We'll talk about that. But right now, what I want to talk about before the show is over, I want to talk about those movies that you guys like. So we got a lot of great movies to talk to you about this week. And what I do each week is that I pick movies. Now, I do it from Turner Classic Movies. I pick these movies because I think these movies are worth watching and I think you'll like them. And you can add them to your list of movies that you may want to catch up with this week. So let's get started right now with that. I have a few. I think I have, how many do I have today? Let me count them. I think I may have around 6. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, okay. I have around 6 of them, I think. Anyway, here's the first movie. I'm going to go back to 1955 on this one. A lot of you remember this is called Mr. Roberts, starring James Cagney, Henry Fonda, and Jack Lemmon. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You'll like that back in 1955. That'll come on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And after that, here's something nice. Dial M for Murder, 1955 with Ray Milland and Grace Kelly. That's on Turner Classic Movies. And you can check that out Saturday, Friday night into Saturday morning at 12 a.m., 12:15 a.m. So that's Friday night, Saturday morning, 12:15 a.m. Eastern. And I guess that comes directly after Mr. Roberts, okay? Dial M for Murder. Here's another one. You like musicals? Here's a good one from 1964, Rex Harrison and Audrey Hepburn. It's called My Fair Lady. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. A great time to watch musical at that particular time, at 8 p.m. Eastern, My Fair Lady. Here's another musical. This is something I discovered when I was in high school, called Music Man. Music Man from 1962. Now, I wasn't in high school at the time, but I didn't know about Music Man until I reached high school. 1962, Robert Preston and Shirley Jones. It's on Turner Classic Movies, and that's Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern. And here's another musical that you like. I love this one too. It's called Gypsy from 1962 as well, starring Rosalind Russell and Natalie Wood. And that's on Sunday. And that's Sunday morning at 1:45 a.m. So if you're up at that night, you can watch it then. That's Sunday morning at 1:45 a.m. Eastern. And if you don't get a chance to watch these movies in real time, you could also DVR them and watch them at your own convenience. And finally, here's something nice from 1966, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, starring Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. That's also on Sunday, and that's at 8 p.m. Eastern. So check out all of these movies if you dare, and you can go to Turner Classic Movies and scroll through the line, and you can see all of these movies. Now, you may see some that you think is good that I didn't mention. These are only my picks, but there are a lot of movies to choose from. You can go on Movies on Demand and look at the new movies and the old movies, and it's all right there, the networks and everything. So let me quickly repeat these shows for you. Mr. Roberts, James Cagney, Henry Fonda, and Jack Lemmon. That's Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Dial M for Murder with Ray Milland and Grace Kelly. That's Saturday at 12:15 a.m. Eastern. My Fair Lady, Rex Harrison and Audrey Hepburn. That's Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. The Music Man with Robert Preston and Shirley Jones. That's at Turner Classic Movies, Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern. Gypsy with Rosalind Russell and Natalie Wood, Sunday at 1:45 a.m. Eastern. And Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf with Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. And that's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, right there on Turner Classic Movies. I hope you enjoy them. That's going to end it for me, ladies and gentlemen. I had a good time. I hope you did too. We're going to be back here tomorrow morning, bright and early at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we're going to be here for more of the coffee hour. And Brian Camp will be here as well with 2020 feature with DJ Peak, with entertaining news and Brian Sports. But other than that, I'll be back here next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more Talk Back Live. I hope you'll be here. Until then, have yourself a good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.